Hey guys, we're going to take a look at Ryobi's new OnePlus 18-volt P738 high-power volume inflator. So this is just for high-volume, low-pressure items like air mattresses, pool toys, beach balls, things like that. If you're looking for tires, you want to look at the P737 or the P731 because those are high-pressure inflators. This one is a low-pressure, high-volume inflator. Alright, so let's take a close-up look at this thing and then I'll do some demos. Alright, so this thing's pretty simple in execution when you look at it up close. It's got a pistol grip, got a spot for the battery, and it's got a inflation port and a deflation port. And to switch between those two, you just take this little nozzle, it's got a bayonet adapter on here, and pop it off. And then you just slip it into this part, and there's no bayonet part in this one because it's sucking it in, so it's unlikely to come off. And if you look at this adapter, it's actually got a couple of steps on it. So if you have a wider diameter infill port that you're using on the air mattress or something, it's able to get a better seal against those different diameters. And this one works fine with the Coleman air mattress I have just at the very end of this. It slips right in. It's a little bit tapered, so you get a nice compression fit. If you want to do things that have a mouth inflation valve, or a pinch valve. This little bit goes on the end here and it can fit inside there so you don't have to manually inflate something that might be like a beach ball or a pool float or something that has one of those smaller valves on it. And it does, you can tell the difference when you turn this on and pitch, it's working a lot harder. I'll go ahead and do that. So this just snaps back in here. It's got a little lip you gotta pull up on to get it out. And while we're talking about volume, as in loudness, this thing is very, very loud. So just keep that in mind if you're using it inside. If you're gonna inflate an air mattress and other people are already asleep, they're gonna hate you. So the inflation-deflation port is pretty straightforward. This is where the air comes in and out. There's a couple motor cooling slots right here that you can kind of see in there, so it's definitely not water resistant. If you get water in, that'll be right on the motor, so no water contact with this. And these little things on the side are actually completely stylistic. There's no hole here. I thought it was like kind of an intake port at first, but it's completely blocked out. So it's just in this side, out this side. Now the trigger is lock-on, and it's kind of an electronic lock-on because you don't see, like most of them, they have a physical switch that you push in that keeps it depressed. But if you pull this one once and let go, it stays on, and if you pull it again, it turns off. You can also hold it on if you want to. One note, if you have it on and you pull the battery and you put a new one in, it'll turn right back on. So that might startle you, but it's not a safety issue because this thing, doesn't have any exposed, rotating, or moving parts. All right, let's go take a look at how this thing does inflating an air mattress. Alright, and as far as workbench sweeping capabilities goes, here's how well this performs with some sawdust. And a larger, heavier item just for the fun of it. And you can see how much it actually deflects my skin. It's a high flow rate. Another use I didn't really think about this for is it's got the deflator functionality, and I used it for the air mattress when I tested it, but it's also got applications for things that you want to kind of vacuum seal. It's not a perfect seal, but I've got this bag of biscuits right here, and if you don't keep biscuits sealed in a sealed container away from humidity, they can swell and then you can't use them. So I always try to get all the air out of this bag whenever I store it. So one way to do that is stick this in here and go ahead and turn it on. And you can see this isn't a perfect vacuum seal, but it's pretty dang good. And I've got a little silica packet in there too. But this should be plenty to keep these from swelling over time, and it's a lot better than having, some ambient air in there when I store it. Alright, so I timed it using the video clip, and that took about 1 minute and 15 seconds to fully inflate that queen air mattress. So if you do the math with the Dimensions Coleman list for the air mattress, it comes out to approximately 18 to 19 cubic feet per minute, which is a pretty decent flow rate for something this small. At the end of that, I did notice it heating up a little bit, but it wasn't significant. And I also looked at the specs for Ryobi. Says, I think it's 45 seconds for a twin air mattress, and I did the volume calculations on both that and the queen, and it's right on for that twin air mattress volume that it's inflating as well. So the specs they claim is accurate. Should do 45 seconds for a twin and 1 minute and 15 for a queen, and I'm sure I could extrapolate kings. Do they make king size air mattresses? I don't know. But anyway, so you get the idea. Their claim specs are accurate, and that's at a half PSI. Obviously, if you start putting a lot of back pressure on it, it's going to take longer to do because you got to put more volume in there and compress it. And it's only going to compress up to a half PSI anyway. So I timed the runtime for this. I just turned it on and let it go because it's got the lock-on trigger. And with this P102 battery, it lasted almost exactly 20 minutes. So you should get an hour out of a P108 or a little bit more because of the efficiencies of the double row of cells in a P108 battery. So an hour or more for P108, 20 minutes for a P102, and then you can interpolate in between there for the other sizes of batteries. Alright, price point. This is $25 bare tool. That means it doesn't come with a battery or a charger. But if you're already in the OnePlus system, that's not much of an investment for this, and it does a great job inflating air mattresses. Alright, so if you've got the P731, this is probably not worth purchasing because it's probably not that much of an upgrade. But if you've only got the P737, which is the high pressure, low volume inflator, this is a great complement to that one without having to spend a total of, I think it's $40 for the 731. Alright, so hopefully this review is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and once again, don't forget to subscribe.